The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, Chapter 2. The Open Road. Rat was sitting on the riverbank one bright summer morning singing a song when Mole said, "Please, Ratty, would you take me to call on Mr. Toad?"
"Why, certainly," said the good-natured Rat. "We'll go in the boat."
"There's Toad Hall," said Rat as they rounded a bend in the river. "Toad is rather rich, you know. Come along and let's find him." Toad saw them coming across the lawn. "Hooray!" he cried. "This is splendid. You are the very animals I want to see. You've got to help me."
"Is it about rowing?" asked Rat.
"Oh, I've given that up long ago," said Toad airily. "No, I've discovered the real thing. Come with me just as far as the stable yard, and you shall see." And there it was, a gypsy caravan, shining and new, painted yellow and green with red wheels. "Who's for a life on the open road? Here today, up and off somewhere else tomorrow," said Toad gaily. "This is the finest cart of its sort that was ever built. Come inside and have a look. Planned it all myself." Mole was tremendously interested inside, but Rat just sat on the doorstep.
"All complete," said Toad. "Chocolate biscuits, tinned fruit, lemonade, even games to play. You'll find that nothing has been forgotten when we make our start this afternoon." "Did I hear," said Rat slowly, "something about we and start this afternoon?"
"Oh, come on, Ratty. I want to show you the world," said Toad. There was quite an argument, but in the end Toad was able to persuade Mole and Rat to go with him, and so they harnessed Toad's horse and set off through the lovely countryside. Friendly passers-by called out "Good day" to them, or stopped to say nice things about their beautiful caravan. And lots of rabbits sat up on their hind legs and said, "Oh my," as they saw them pass by. Late in the evening, tired and happy and miles from home, they stopped and had supper, sitting on the grass by the roadside. Toad boasted about all the things he was going to do. He talked until he was too tired to go on, and they all went to bed in their little bunks in the caravan. Poor Rat was obviously missing the river. "Shall we run away tomorrow?" whispered Mole.
"No," whispered Rat back. "We'll stick by Toad until this trip is ended. He wouldn't be safe by himself."
Nor was he safe with Mole and Rat. Next day, as they were going along the road, Mole leading the horse, and Toad and Rat walking behind the caravan, there was suddenly an imperious poop-poop behind them. A motor car whizzed by in a cloud of dust and noise. The horse bucked and reared, dragging poor Mole off his feet. The caravan finished up in the ditch, and Toad finished up sitting in the middle of the road. It was a long walk for the three animals to the nearest town, where they found somebody to look after the horse and what was left of the caravan. But Toad wasn't at all upset. He could talk of nothing but the wonderful thing, the motor car, which had caused the accident. Next evening, when Mole was sitting by the river fishing, Rat came up. "Heard the news?" he said. "Toad has ordered a large and expensive motor car." Chapter 3. The Wild Wood. For a long time, Mole had wanted to meet the badger, but Rat was obviously not keen. So one day, at the beginning of winter, while Rat dozed in front of his fire, Mole set off to explore the wild wood, hoping to bump into Mr. Badger. It was a cold afternoon. Everything was very still. It was getting dark. Then the faces began. He thought he saw a little evil wedge-faced shape looking out at him from a hole. When he turned, the thing had vanished. And then there were faces in all the little holes, in the trees, all around. Then the whistling began, and everything seemed to be closing in on him. As he stood still to listen anxiously, he saw something moving. he saw a rabbit running through the trees. Mole expected it to slow down. Instead, it almost brushed him as it dashed past, muttering, "Get out of this, you fool, get out!" And it disappeared down a friendly burrow. Mole was very frightened, and he hid under some dead leaves in a hollow. Meanwhile, Rat had been having a lovely warm doze by the fire. When he woke up at last, he called, "Moley!" several times, but there was no answer. Then he found that Mole's cap was missing from the peg in the hall. And when he opened the door, he saw Mole's tracks in the mud leading away from the house, straight towards a wild wood. Rat armed himself with a pair of pistols and a stout cudgel and set off bravely into the wild wood. He searched for over an hour, calling, "Moley! Moley! Where are you?" At last he heard an answering little cry coming from a hole at the foot of a tree. He looked inside, and there was Mole. "Oh, Ratty!" he cried, "I've been so frightened."
"Now then," said Rat, "we must pull ourselves together and get going. It would never do to spend the night here."
"Dear Ratty," said Mole, "I'm so tired. I must rest a bit longer." And Mole snuggled down into the dry leaves and went to sleep. When at last Mole woke up, Rat looked outside to see if it was safe to go. It was snowing hard, and the whole wild wood was white. "We must make a start and take our chance," said Rat. They trudged for more than an hour through the snow, getting more and more lost, when Mole tripped and hurt his leg.
"Poor old Mole," said Rat. "You've cut your leg. I'll tie it up for you."
Rat was scratching away at the snow where Mole had tripped up. He found a door scraper and was very excited. "Some careless person has left his door scraper lying about where it's sure to trip everybody up," said Mole, and he sat on it to rest his leg. But Rat was scrabbling away again, making the snow fly in all directions until he found a doormat.
"There!" he cried in triumph. Poor old Mole didn't quite know what he was on about.
Rat now attacked a snowbank beside them. Mole scraped busily, too. 10 minutes hard work, and they found a solid little door, painted dark green. Beside it was a brass plate, which read, "Mr. Badger." Mole was chattering away in his excitement, but Rat said, "Get up and hang on to that bell pull, and ring as hard as you can while I hammer on the door." The end of chapter 3.